Hi. Okay, now I'm just waiting for anybody who is here to join in and um, see how everything is going. I haven't done this in a while in a group, and I've decided we're going to do it here in the Facebook book club, and we're going to try to do more of them to see if we can get more attention because we want to know what you're reading and what you're doing. I wonder if my buddy has arrived yet so I can have him join us. Either way, how do you write? Do you use a pen and paper and then you type it and edit it as you go? Do you type straight onto the document? I do a measure of both, and I had planned on asking a friend or having him tell us his wonderful way of doing things. Because it will make it easier for those with reading disabilities and writing disabilities. What are you writing now? I have been working on a reimagining of Belle and the Beast, and it's getting loud. Let's see. And then Death comes in and gets Belle, and he goes on a tour of the castle with her as he goes. Aha! There we go. Being added. Let's see. There we go.
Well, I tried doing it on my, computer, and it won't work. So, no computer for me today.
So you're on your phone?
Yeah,
Okay. I wonder why your video isn't showing up.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Can you see me?
Nope, I can't see you at all.
Oh,
No, you're there. I can hear you. But either way,
it's probably for the best. I mean, who really wants to see this face?
I always want to see your face. I love your face. But anyway, since we're here, let's have some author talk like planned. Okay, let's do the intro now that we're fully here. Hello, 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 my lovelies. I am going to start a new series of author talk but with shorter spurts. Half an hour at a time, or 15 minutes, or however long we feel, 10, 15 minutes to half an hour. And we're going to talk to people and learn more about their writing process. My buddy Pyle, author, he has written some wonderful stories. I love his imagination. Sometimes it's absolutely scary in what his characters do, but he's creative. Did you know that?
I, I mean, I try. I,
So, yeah, tell us about your writing process because I know it's a bit different from mine. It's a bit different from everybody else's.
my writing process. I don't know if it's really a writing process as much as I am known for throwing stuff at a wall before I write anything down, and then
Mhm.
as soon as I get something that sounds like it's okay, um, then I start composing it. But my composing is a lot different than others, where they'll sit in front of a computer, they'll sit in front of their phone, they'll do whatever, and they'll type, 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 type. Um, Mine is 90% talk to text, which means that there is a lot of editing afterwards. And that is one of the biggest things that's needs to be understood. I am a person that suffers from ADD, ADHD, dyslexic. Um, I'm one of the students that was kind of put back in the corner for the longest time, and it never, ever really processed in my brain how to comprehend a lot of things when it comes down to English language and word etiquette. So I found my own groove by talk to text.
And you have a very different mode of speech than a lot of the people I've heard, but that's not a bad thing. I enjoy talking with you and learning from you.
Hmm.
And that is one of the things they've actually started. They've said they're willing to set up with my kid now. They realize how hard it is for her to get things on the page, so they're going to let her do talk to text for things like that. So I'm grateful for that. So, um, in your story writing progress process, is there how do you what usually interests you to get started?
Um, boredom.
Boredom. I like that.
Bored. Boredom is one of the key factors in unlocking imagination.
Yes.
You get bored, so you want to get out of that boredom. So you start imagining and you start thinking of different places you rather be than where you are. Could it be at a castle? Could it be on a ship? Could you be with one of your favorite people in the whole wide world, making a journey to Australia to go meet Steve Irwin? It might be.
Yes.
And when you're bored and you have some of the conditions I have, it is the only way that you can keep from um, I don't want to say damaging your brain, but keeping something. I mean, and the thing is, you can focus on something and still be bored with it. So
Yes.
focusing on something, doing something, and being bored with it, it's a little different. And when you're trying to, bring something to life, you're trying to bring something in a story to life. It usually is something that's been locked in your brain, and that's pretty
Yeah.
much what really gets me to do stuff. um some people are good, they get bored, they make jokes. I'm good at joke telling, but not at creating them as much as creating a world that I'm not in.
Okay. That I understand. What has been your favorite thing about the story you're creating now?
um it's probably kind of one of the favorite parts is taking a story that somebody might know, or take a lot of stories that somebody might know, and reforming them into the adult world as much
Yeah,
as
that you have.
eh, yes, evolving a story. I mean, we all know the stories of, you know um Hansel and Gretel and this and that, but when you're taught these stories, usually you're at kids age and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that from my childhood. But as you grow up, you come to realize a lot of things that were little and you learned when you were little, you have the opportunity to learn that they didn't exactly mean some of the things you are now understanding they meant. So this is my take on some of the Mother Goose stories, some of the different princess ideas that's come out throughout the years. And I really wanted to bring it into a situation that just made people go, I could have done without thinking of that, or man, that is something I guess it's plausible because it made sense. And sometimes when you're telling a story, plausible is a great thing to make sense with, but you have to have your own take on some of these things.
Well, yeah. Let me add this for you and anybody else that's listening. I remember this one comedian whenever I was a kid that made the dirty nursery rhymes, where he'd take these stories and the nursery rhymes and give them an adult twist. And now I'm seeing a whole lot of authors who are taking these fairy tales and changing all the ages to adults, because we know some of them were younger, so all of them are now grown women and men, and then they are given a reimagine of their relationship, and it is becoming very smutty, for lack of a better word. Extremely smutty, but despite the smut, the stories and how everything works has been well told in the ones I've picked and read for myself. So I know you have written the stories I've read so far very well. And I know in this one, it's a fun way to do it, because it never occurred to me to make the old woman in the shoe to this role.
Well, we all know the old woman in the shoes had so many children, she didn't know what to do. But that is what we say to our children as much as we look at people and say, do you know the Muffin Man? And there's a dark story with the Muffin Man, as it is
Oh, that.
true. So why not create something that's dark but it's safe? And I have a daughter. Anybody that
Yeah.
really knows me knows I have a daughter. And this is something that she's been able to kick around different things with this project as she plays with her toys and this and that. And it's like, oh, okay. And then it's like, but. And then my brain takes what she's done and it's like, whoa, what happens if this person was more this way or this person acted more like this? And oh my gosh, uh, was that just uh, a dwarf with a camera? So that is what I'm trying to do, is trying to bring in something that people are able to look at, read, and go, something is very different with this. And that's what I want. I don't want something that everybody has done the same thing over and over and over. That's why I wanted to take these and move them in a different position. I mean, I could have took some of them and put them in zombie form, but that was one of the things I wanted it
Zombie
to
form
work.
doesn't work for this.
Right.
You know, this is the first time that I've seen this particular theme used in a Mother in the Shoe.
Mhm.
Hello, viewer. If you have commented, I apologize. The comments are not appearing, but I'm very happy you're here. But anyway, I've not seen this particular theme used for the old mother, the old lady in the shoe. So many children, she didn't know what to do. A madam is a very interesting choice. And if you're wondering, guys, we are writing stories, trying to finish editing our stories for the turn in of the fairy tale anthology for Facor. I'm
Right.
gonna go through later and get more of them on here that have been accepted. We don't know if we've been fully accepted, but we have written stuff that we're proud of. And we're great And we're actually, I know I'm glad I have written something. And yes, I am obsessed with death, if anybody's not figured that one out. But, uh, so what has been the hardest part of getting your writing process going?
My personal life crunch on time. That has been my setback after setback after setback. Because usually I could pop these out really quick, really fast, and really fun. But with things happening the way that things have been happening, that is my number one thing that's been my setback is my personal life um, time crunch.
Oh, yeah, that is understandable. Life has a great big uh, habit of creeping up on us. That's the word I was trying to find. Uh, do you have any questions for me?
No, I mean, I can't wait to see what you come up with and how you change the story that we all believe has been a classic story into your own interpretation of the story that you have chose.
It is a sort of a continuance of the last time she is spending on Earth.
Mhm.
Basically, she has died in her sleep, and her daughter, I've changed it to where she has a daughter. Why? Because I am me. And her soon to be husband and his
Mhm.
family is coming. So the prince and the king and queen and their escort, their entourage, is coming that day. Okay.
Mhm.
And she has passed away and decided to take one more walk through the castle before she goes. And Death does like always, he blips in. He can't, he looks around the vicinity of where the body is, because that's usually where, oops, I dropped the phone. That's usually where he finds the spirit. But
Right.
she's not there. So he goes to look for her and finds her dancing with um, the princess, the king's coat. Um, since it did not have an actual name anywhere of what the beast's real name was, I gave him one of my real life Prince Charming. So she's dancing with King Josh's coat around the ballroom, and that's where Death finds her. And then she goes through and decides to have one more walk around uh, on, so to say, memory lane before she goes with him to the afterlife. She's biding her time, waiting because she wants to see how the soon to be husband of her daughter is going to help. And his first reaction after finding out that she has died is he bolts and he goes to find her. And his first thing he does is grabs her up in his arms and sits down on the floor and holds her and lets her cry. And then his parents like, okay, what are the customs of, the king walks away with the head servant, the head person of the staff, and says, okay, what do we do to get the funeral ritual going? I have better wording. My brain's not working, but his wife is she is bawling because that's her best friend dead on the bed. And she sees that they're going to be respectful. They're going to be there for her daughter.
Oh, I think we lost her for a sec.
There we go. I'm back. Sorry about that. And so that's how she finds out that I didn't tell everything, but that's basically what the story is. She finds out about how things are going to go, and she has a wonderful walk down memory lane. But I've been obsessed lately in Death, how he would pick up people, what he would find. Because you saw the cryptid deaths. Well,
Mhm.
you heard in theory because read him read them for everybody. And again, if anybody's commenting, I am apologize, and I do want to thank Angel Nix again for reminding me about the whole group live. I hadn't thought about doing it as an author, but um, I will read it for you later, make a video of it. But what princesses or other characters are going to be seen in your shoe?
Oh, so uh, the little old lady is always going to be the one that's at the front desk. Uh, but you get to meet Mother Goose, and as you meet Mother Goose, you're going to come to realize Mother Goose's name is more of a nickname because of her condition. Uh, then we also have um, a really, really beautiful girl that I I have never given a name to her, but she is very, very incredible, and you'll be able to read about her and why she's so incredible. Um, we have Snow White that she's going to hang out with the Seven Dwarfs. There is also uh,
Hmm.
Little Miss Muffet that just can't wait for her spider. And there's other ones there.
So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of different things
And let me
that.
reiterate, all of them have been aged to adult age
Oh yeah,
for the story. They are all adults
oh yeah,
and consenting adults for all the things that happen.
yeah. We're we're looking we're looking at uh 25, 30 year olds in this
Yeah.
world, and
So, yeah,
older.
just wanted to lay this down in this conversation for those who are listening because we all know the original ages in the stories, but we need to understand for our purposes, we are doing full aged adults.
Hmm.
But okay, please continue.
Um, that's pretty much what I've got in my brain right at this second. Because once again, once it comes out of my brain and I get it down, I kind of shove it off to the side so it doesn't
Understand.
cloud my brain, so I know where I need to go. And there's one section that I had to add into, and this is a very important section. So that part got written, so it's got to be pulled into the story, and it needs to be wedged into it because it is a
Okay.
very, very important part.
And we will get that done later in our editing sessions.
Yep.
And because of his dyslexia and everything, we do live editing sessions where I read it and he tells me how he'd like it fixed. Because
Hmm.
I will go through and I will adjust things into proper sentence format and so on. And then I will read it to him to make sure he approves my edits, and then he gives me his own additions or changes. Or I suggest changes, and he's like, nah, I don't exactly like that. Let's do it this way. Or that was that way for a reason. And I'm like, fine, then can we at least capitalize it and go from there? Because
It's
at the end of the day, I don't want to take away from your creativity.
right. One of the most important things is um, I have come to learn as I've done these stories that it is not the story that a editor takes away. The editor is there to compose it, look at it, and say, okay, well, what about this way? Do we have a thought about doing it this way? And that's a very important thing to know and think about is when you are the person that's trying to overcome this stuff. Because honestly, if anybody wants to really read the way I would have to do it, the most instead of talking to text, it would be me saying a couple of words, knowing how to properly put them in there as best as I could, and then me going and saying, well, I might not know how to spell that word correctly, but that's the word I want. So me telling my phone I need this spelled. And it takes a while,
Yeah.
but it's a lot easier for me to do talk to text to go back through it with the editor and work on it and say, okay, well, you know what? This might have not been the word I meant to say, but we have a basic idea of how. Um, don't ever look at some, or don't ever have somebody look at you and say, you know, you can't complete this or you can't do this, because I have learned in the last couple of years that that is such a wrong statement,
Mhm.
and it needs to be thrown off to the side. It's not you can't do this. It should be we can find a different way. And that needs to be a very important statement. Um,
That is a statement that I am very much trying to teach my little ones. And I'm fighting to make sure the different way is found and happens in
yep.
some cases.
It's when you're trying to overcome things, it is one of those things that you don't know what you can accomplish if you don't set out and start to try. Because honestly, you don't fail, you only have setbacks. Once you quit and you don't complete it, that is when you have failed. It's when you give up on it. And trust me, sometimes I'm just like, oh yeah, I can write this story, I can do this, da, 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 da. Get it a part of the way done, or whatever fraction, and then it's like, and like this, I don't want to go on. But with a wonderful reminder, hey, you think you could get that done? Yes, I can. I
Mhm.
might not exactly want to right this second, but yes, I can. And
Yeah, that's why I'm been like, hey, I would like to do these things with you for this reason, this reason, this reason, but we need to find a time that works for us. And that is why this is so late in the week. And I know we have agreed to get started in the group, but yeah,
right. But
we found a way.
I have absolutely been a very busy person in my personal life, and it's hard to balance sometimes the personal life with the things that you want to do.
Yes. So I think I have three more questions, and then we are going to call tonight good. My next question is, what is your favorite one of those drink packets? You know, those little sugar-free drink packets that you put in the bottles? Which one's your favorite?
Um, I go to K Rogers and I will get the big packets, and I
Uh-huh.
will take two of the big packets to make 1 gallon of water, and it is raspberry lemonade mixed with grape.
I can honestly say I have not tried that. I'm going to try that after we finish this because I have the ability to go do that. So that is the next thing I'm going to do after we get off this live. Um,
We call it camp
okay.
juice.
I'm gonna make camp juice, man. Good to know. You know what? That is a thing. I need you to take a picture of that, of your container when you make it, and then we're gonna use that as a picture to put in the cookbook. And we're gonna put the recipe, the drink recipe down. Number two.
Not big of a not that big, and it's also sugar free.
Yep, and we like sugar free in this house, sugar free drinks. So that is a plan. Well, this collective. The next question is, what is your favorite writing snack?
My favorite writing snack.
Yep. While you're doing your research or thinking or writing, what do you like to eat?
Um, I really don't have one because of the way that I write it. And when I write it, usually it is me getting stuck in line somewhere in the cab of my semi.
Oh, okay.
So snacks are not exactly something I try doing at that, but um, all three, all four of the stories that I've done, I have done from the cab of a semi being stuck in line. And sometimes that's one of the biggest things to make it a challenge of how hard is it to make a story. I got to get bored in line for it to, oh, but I was able to kick it out this week.
Yep. And you've done amazing. Okay. The last question is, why should everybody go eat at Ponderosa?
Oh my gosh. Why would this be a question? Okay.
Because,
So,
like me,
uh,
there's a lot of people that probably
okay.
have never heard of Ponderosa, and I know it's your favorite restaurant because I would normally
Uh,
say, "What's your favorite restaurant?" But for you, it's like
oh,
automatically off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure Ponderosa, if it is not your favorite, is one of your top
okay.
because you keep talking about it.
There is two things. Okay. You can get me to always go to a Ponderosa, or you can get me pretty much to go to Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse is more expensive, so I don't want to do it all the time because I don't want to ruin it. And I don't get the chance with Ponderosa all the time. But why do I want someone to go with me or go to Ponderosa themselves? Because I have recently found out that there is three left in the state of Ohio. And why is this important? Because that is my childhood. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. That is my childhood. Every year when I was little, until they left, I went to Ponderosa. Every year. I take that back. If I didn't go to Ponderosa, I went to Damien's. And Damien's is gone. But the
Never heard
Ponderosas are
of
still
Damien.
there. Damien's was a place that had barbecued ribs, and I really like their barbecue on their ribs. But I would get to go to Damien's when I went to Dayton Children's when I had to go see the doctor for my migraines. And that was very important. But Ponderosa, just man, every year the school would give you a free certificate for you to go and celebrate your birthday because that's what Ponderosa gave to schools, donated to schools all this time. And I
That is
remember
awesome.
the little elf guy on the coupon with his ice cream hat on with a cherry on top, and he's so joyful. Why do I want you to go to Ponderosa? Because that's my childhood. Now, are you
Okay.
going to have the same experience as me? Maybe not, but
No.
I'll tell you what, the meatballs taste just like they did in the 90s. They have not changed the meatballs. You're going to find the meatballs with brown gravy and without brown gravy. Just depends where you're going. But anybody that knows me has witnessed the pure enjoyment of me having the thoughts of Ponderosa and me looking like a little kid to this day with a plate full of those meatballs that's covered in brown gravy going back to the table going do, 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 do. And there's just so many happy memories that we've made recently at Ponderosa that has just blended in. So yeah, that's why I want you guys to go to a Ponderosa and save the Ponderosas. And if you don't know what a Ponderosa is, um, perhaps it's a bonsai uh, bonanza. Maybe it's a
Bonanza.
bonanza with you. Because I'll tell you what, Ponderosa was created by a man that loved bonanza so much that he wanted to bring you to bonanza or he wanted to bring you to the Ponderosa. And that is such a great show to bring people into this food. He was trying to make this Western thing. And one of my greatest memories was my grandpa sitting there and the waitress going, well, is there anything else I can get you right now? And my grandfather looked at her and said, what part of Texas are we from? Or what part of Texas are we actually in? And the woman looks at my grandfather and goes, oh my word, are you all from Texas? And my grandfather goes, no. And everybody had to tell the waitress he's a Texas wannabe. But that was one of the best things that I can remember about a Ponderosa, just having the wonderful conversations. And man, I don't know if I could get my grandfather to go with me to Ponderosa. I mean, it's a pretty long journey, but man,
Yeah.
I would love to get him to go and just to make my childhood happy again and smack me in the face a little bit. I would love for him to say, "Hey, I want to go to Ponderosa." Closest one is in Columbus, Ohio, from me, but there is one in Hillsboro, or is it Hill? It might not be Hillsboro. I know there's one in Columbus, one in Wheeling, Ohio, and there's one in Hilliard. That's what it is, Hilliard, Ohio. So there are three here in the state of Ohio. Man, what a what a terrible question to ask me.
Yeah, and then somehow you end up with a friend, multiple friends in Texas. So, yeah, either way.
But you
Okay.
guys haven't been to a Ponderosa.
No, I've not been to Ponderosa. I can say I've been to Ohio, but I have not been to a Ponderosa. So,
We need to fix that before they
I
all go
will at
away.
some point. At some point in the future, I will get to come see you and go to a Ponderosa. But
Oh
either
yeah.
way, we should wish everybody good night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good night, everybody.
Good night. I hope you all have a great night. I hope you tell us what you like to read in the comments, what your latest 5-star read is, and if you've read any fake horror books lately. Have a great night.
Bye.